There it is. Woo-hoo! Good morning. Welcome in to the Ron Ross Radio Show podcast special time. And it's our special holiday show, too. Today is Wednesday.
There
it is. Okay.
Sorry.
Hey,
a little slow.
Thank you, Donna Mike. A little nod to Donna Mike. It's 11:03 a.m. Eastern, making it 8:03 a.m. Pacific. But thank you. There it is, John. Boom. I was wondering when we were going to get the background. You know what? It's so
Yeah.
by the way, welcome into the Ron Ross Radio Show podcast. I'm Ron. That guy over there is John Uglinski, Mr. Everything. And
Hi.
I noticed I was listening to a podcast the other day, and you can tell that you and I are radio because we keep resetting who we are and what they're listening to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, podcasters don't do that. They just leap right in. They don't introduce who they are or any of that stuff. They're just like, well, you're here for obvious reason. I don't need to do that. So I just realized that as I was going through the introduction. But anyway,
you must know who we are.
Yeah, because you're here. And
by the way,
I really do appreciate that.
Past 11:05.
11:03, double time. 11:03 after 11.
Yeah.
And hey, look, dude, I do that. We did an experiment years ago, and I digress. Shocker. That's the subtitle of the actual podcast. Is I was on the air at Hot 99.5 in Washington, D.C.
Right.
And it was a top 40. And I was the third mic and the producer and news guy for the Hot Morning Mess with Mark and Chris. And so we were talking about on the air, we're talking about radioisms and stuff that you do. And so I said, and I told him, one of them is the double time, 8:03, 3 after 8, 8:27, 27 minutes past 8 o'clock, that kind of thing. And he said, that's so unnecessary. I said, okay, I got you. Because he didn't do that. He would throw out the time. And this is back in the 2K when you didn't really have your time. Like, it was there on your car, whatever. You still threw it out there. You still threw the time out there.
Yeah,
time
you're
check.
driving, you're listening, you're not paying
time
attention.
Check.
So, you want to know if you're running late, especially
Bing bong, have a Hot Morning Mess time, 8:03, 3 after 8. So I go and launch into my news at the here's a radioism at the top of the hour. There you go. That's a
top of the hour, top of the dial
reference, right? Analog clock, top of the hour. CBS News. Come on, I knew that. That was the CBS News timer,
right?
Anyway, so I launch into it. I'm like, good morning. And I said it's 6:03 or it's 8:03. That's it. And then I went into the rest, and he stopped me and he goes, wait a minute, you didn't say what time it was. I went, because I only did it once. He didn't pay attention to it.
Right.
So anyway, there's a method to the madness for a lot of the things that DJs do. And that's a whole other show for a whole other time. But I'll get into some of the things why DJs do, why radio stations play the same songs, why it happens at this part of the hour. Why they launch?
Why we interrupt 4 songs in a row with no talk by talking?
It was a jingle. There was a jingle.
4
songs in a row.
4 songs in a row. Right.
Magic 106.9. I know. Well, that was back in the day when the radio consultants.
Yeah.
Spit when you say that. When they basically cookie cuttered formats, they came up with one concept. They saw one article about how people don't like DJ patter on the radio. So that was their hook. Then it was all they wanted to do is eliminate the D. Why was I even there other than to put the record on the or play the CD or whatever? This was, before computer times. I'd hate to think what would happen if the computers were working and then they just took DJs off the air completely and went quote unquote jockless. and all you were was just a jukebox. But anyway, that was a time, I think it was like 90s, I want to say, where that was the thing. And all across the nation, a DJ was a bad word, except for the fact that the number one DJ in the country was Howard Stern, and all he did was talk.
Right. And
He
talk
stopped
radio
playing
is
music.
starting to grow.
He stopped playing music in his music show.
Right.
Just to talk.
Right.
So the point was, I think what they finally got down to and distilled it down to is people don't like inane rambling talk that means nothing. So it's got to be entertaining and engaging, and then then they're fine with it.
Well, I think there's it's funny because right now you're in a era where Pandora, you've got all these like kind of what are the other online services? Amazon Music, whatever, Apple Music, Spotify, all these kind of things. So I mean, if you want DJ-less talk, that's probably what you're doing. Okay. But if you come to radio, you want probably your local news and information. You want a friend on the radio, like literally somebody who's your buddy, your pal, you look forward to listening to, that gives you helpful or useful information or makes you laugh.
It's different now. You're right.
Yeah,
no, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
As our illustrious leader at Frederick's Key 103.
Key 103.
As he, by the way, has put it, he goes, look, you can get music anyway. I'm sorry, I missed that. I missed a joke of yours last week, by the way, and I'm like,
I was going to do a plug. I was going to say, ask the A word to play Key 103.
Oh yeah,
0.1. Yeah, and it'll start playing it anywhere in the country. By the way, you can listen to Ron Ross.
Yeah, I did that. I did that at John's house, actually.
Yeah, you did. It was funny, but I'm just telling anybody who's out there who loves Ron and who used to love his Sirius XM show and maybe hasn't listened to him for a while, just summon up the A word back here and tell her.
We do. We put. You know what? All I did was I take and I love doing afternoons now. I like mornings. I like mornings,
man.
But I love doing afternoons now because I have a semblance of a normal life. I mean, my show's over at 7. I'm home by 7:18. That's
it's a good gig, Ron.
And
you deserve it.
Greatest Wife Ever is already has prepared a wonderful dinner. What she do?
Man,
she does. Awesome. She makes dinner.
Lucky.
Well, okay. So last night I said I was gonna. Oh, by the way, I digress. Last night I tried to get The Greatest Wife Ever to come out to a movie and then have popcorn for dinner. But the showtime for we wanted to see Mission Impossible, Final Reckoning. But the
was it good?
Showtime we could make was 9:50, and we're like, no,
that's late.
We'll just fall asleep.
Yeah.
So okay. I still ran over to Warehouse Cinemas, ding ding, plug, and because they have a full bar, and I mean we get like cocktails there. They make a really good old fashioned. But anyway, I went there just to get the popcorn. They have 2 popcorn poppers, so I just got 2 bags of popcorn.
Yeah,
and I was leaving. And the girl, she's like, what movie you're seeing? I'm like, oh, no, this is just so I can take home. She goes, oh, well, here. And she gave me 2 other bags to put over top of them.
Oh, nice.
I could carry. I know. I thought that was really nice. That was above and beyond. She didn't have to do that. So I brought that home, and I came home, and Greatest Wife Ever, and there was something on the stove. And I'm like, oh, that smells good. And she goes, well, you didn't think we were having popcorn for dinner, did you? And I'm like, yeah, I did. But she had made dinner. So my point is, doing afternoons now. So from the Sirius XM show, from the Ron Ross Morning Show, I have adapted it to the afternoons. I still play the same games. We play today is older or younger. Thursdays we have the rotating games. So I've got the key movie game. That's where I give the synopsis to a movie, but I give the actors' names. So if I say, John, that Tom Hanks and Tim Allen get ready for the big move, that movie would be
Toy Story.
There you go. Boom. See, just like that.
I got it.
Let's play the key movie game and play the key celebrity game. That's the same game you play with each other. When you give each other clues, see how many celebrities, except I give the clues, you name the celebrity. And then what's the other? Key factor fiction. So just, there goes John. Oh, John's back.
I'm
Okay,
still here.
yeah, you disappeared.
Okay.
So you give the key fact or fiction. I read a random statement. You tell me whether it's fact or fiction. For instance, do dolphins sleep with one eye open? What do you think? True or false?
That is true.
Key fact or fiction?
That is true.
It's true. It is true. That's correct. And then
Yeah.
finally, and this is one of my favorites, and Grace, wife, ever likes this one, is name 5 and 5. You have 5 seconds to name 5 things in a topic that I give you, like 5 things in a junk drawer. Ready, set, go.
Yeah, pencil, eraser, paper,
Five
paperclip.
Sorry. And well, you started late.
Yeah, I did. Well, yeah. My brain's not
But
working.
so we still play those games. We have a lot of fun with that. And so and then I look up what they call social currency or articles to talk about. And one of them, there's been a bunch of stuff about Gen Z trying to detox from their phone. And
Good idea.
Which
I could
is
use that.
there are groups now on campuses, on college campuses, where
Mhm.
they get together and specifically they're not on their phone. They're there to just have a regular conversation, talk about whatever movies or what have you. They can probably talk about online content, I'm guessing. But that's just an example of some of the articles. There you go. The plug is over for my show. Now, why did I bring that up, John? I was talking about being a Key 103.
I don't know. We were talking radio stuff and things like that.
And that's what the program director said, was that people can get music anywhere. They're coming to us for the personality. They're coming to us for Dina Carroll Morning Show. Plug for Dina. She's right. Dina. The thing I love about Dina is, well, first of all, she's a woman hosting a morning show. Awesome. I love that. Number one. Number two, she's uber positive. And you thought I was positive. She puts me to shame. She is, and she calls it a cup of joy. She has a cup of joy every morning. And so she's got a little bit of something you should know kind of thing. She plays fun and games and gives away cool prizes and stuff like that. But basically, she is sunshine in the morning, whether it's raining or not. It doesn't matter. And so people come to her for that. We have Meredith Marks Middays, who holds down the fort. She has a lot of great show content in the middle of what's happening. And then Aaron holds it down at night. And I grab the afternoons. But that's the thing I like about the what the program director said, which is, he does not shy away from personality radio. And which is, it's nice to have somebody in your corner, a boss who's in your corner, who is encouraging you, collaborating with you, giving you pointers. I mean, I'm still learning stuff. It's probably my harshest critic is me. And we were listening back in an air check session. You listen back to your show and breaks you did when I was out doing a live remote broadcast at this big happy hour thing called Alive at 5. And it's outdoors and there's a band playing and all that stuff. And so we went through that and we critiqued it and I tore it down. And so I'm going to go tomorrow. I'm doing another one and I'm going to go in with a new, fresh perspective, because, at this age, you get set in your ways and you the same thing all the time. And it's kind of automatic and you're almost on autopilot when you're doing certain things. And I want to try to break away from that. You're always trying to learn and improve. At least I am. I'm trying to learn and improve. And then, they point out verbal crutches that I say on the air, which would be the word all right. Found that out a couple of weeks ago. And I'm like, oh, that's a very good point. I say all right a lot on the air. Right. So I have to try. Exactly. All right. I got to get away from that. But anyway, I don't even know how we got on that topic, but there you go. So John and I, it's kind of a quick show today, and we're doing a holiday show, so I'm going to get right to it. The 4th of July on Friday, the anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. When it was adopted, not when it was signed. That's one of those trivia things they used to try to nail people on.
True.
Because it was I think it was signed in August.
And weren't there signers that went along. I mean, it happened over a period of time
It
too.
happened over a period of time. Yeah, it had
Yeah,
to. You're
right.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
But I've been to because the daughter, the younger, lives in Philadelphia, so I've been to
Mhm.
Independence Hall. That's the thing that really amazes me when you're driving through. See, Philadelphia, I'm used to growing up outside Richmond, so we went
Mhm.
to Williamsburg, Colonial Williamsburg, all the time,
Right.
and so I
Yeah.
thought, parts of Philadelphia were going to be like that. Not
No.
at all. Philadelphia is a major metropolitan city. They have
Nope.
some historic buildings,
Mhm.
but for the most part, the city is just kind of grown up around.
Around
Independence
it.
Hall
Yeah.
is still there.
Yeah. Yeah.
They built another building for the Liberty Bell, but
Yes.
the reason I brought that up is because Independence Hall is where it was adopted, and if you watch National Treasure, which is pretty cool, and they have the Declaration of Independence, and he unfurls it, and then Nicolas Cage is like, "Oh, last time it was in this room, it was being signed." You know? It's a really good scene,
Yeah.
but you have to go, "Oh, no, actually, no, it wasn't." But that's
Yeah.
okay. It's the movie,
But,
suspension of
it's the
disbelief,
movies. It is the movies.
suspension of disbelief. But if it's amazing to me. We were on this bus tour, and I want to go on that bus tour again because you can
Yeah.
hop on and hop
Yeah.
off at any point and get back
Right.
on it. But the Independence, I don't want to take the Independence Hall tour, but I didn't, is how tiny it is. It's small. And right next to it was the first Congress met in
Mhm.
that building to the right.
Mhm.
So the House and the Senate, that's how
Mhm.
small they were.
Yeah.
It fit in that building in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I
But
grew up there, so very
yeah, right,
familiar with that.
exactly.
So you would do the Liberty Bell, Independence Hall, Betsy Ross's house. You would go see where Ben Franklin's house was, but they have like a exoskeleton, and then you go down into a museum right near it. But all those kind of things, yeah. And then the waterfront and some of the tall ships and
I
things
think
like
his first printer or the
that. Mhm.
postmaster, I think that building's still there. Or
Yeah,
it's a or
that
it's
may
a
be. His
recreation.
house is not there, but
No, his
they
house isn't
they did.
there. It's a big frame. They put a big, metal frame of where it
Yeah,
was.
rather than try and rebuild it, I think they just did that. And then they've got a big visitor center that has a lot of information on that.
I don't
On
know
that.
why, because
Really cool.
most of Williamsburg is a recreation. I don't know if you knew that. Colonial Williamsburg,
Yeah.
Duke of Gloucester Street. Yeah,
I'm
there's a
not sure
lot.
why they did that, but to be
We
honest
found
with
out a
you,
lot about that when we were doing
yeah.
research. And the Greatest Wife Ever and I were doing research for Middletown Heritage Festival.
Hmm.
For our town, which is a colonial town. It predates the U.S.
Hmm.
And George Washington, when he was a surveyor, stood at the top of Braddock Mountain and declared the Middletown Valley was like one of the most beautiful valleys he's ever seen. Blah blah blah.
The
It's
one thing
be
about
emblazoned on everything.
right.
Washington said, blah.
I was gonna say the one thing we know from having lived in that northeast corridor from Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, DC, West Virginia, all that is
Yeah,
that George Washington got around, man.
he was everywhere.
Like he was there. George Washington was here for this, and there's always a sign saying George Washington was there. So yeah, he was quite the traveler.
We did that. I was talking with the Greatest Wife Ever not too long ago because next year, by the way, is the bicentennial. I don't know what it's called.
250.
250, but I don't know what the exact word is. But
Yeah,
I remember the bicentennial because
same.
leading up to that was first you had Schoolhouse Rock on ABC that ran in between the cartoons, and the Schoolhouse Rock uh, changed to it wasn't called Freedom Rock. That was History Rock.
Was it?
It was History Rock, but it was all about the U.S. So rocking and a rolling, splishing and a splashing over the horizon. What could it be? And about the founding, and then there's going to be fireworks on the 4th of July, red, white, and blue. That's how I learned about American history. was
Oh my.
was History Rock,
Yeah.
but for the bicentennial. Now, John, you're a few years younger than I. Do you remember where you were on the bicentennial? What did you do?
No.
No, you don't remember?
Mm.
Okay.
I remember it being a huge deal, but I do not specifically remember where I was on July 4th, 1976.
We were in Williamsburg, Virginia, of course, because we used to go there all the time, and the place is completely packed, of course.
Of course,
And
it
there
would
was
be.
the mustering of the militia, and there was a fife and drum corps, and I remember Roger Mudd from CBS News was doing a live stand-up there. And I also remember that it was the temperature of the sun. It was unbelievably hot, blazing sunshine. I have a cup. It's still at mom and dad's house. I have to find it. I got a cup. They bought one soda for us. So you had to
They
sit,
did.
okay, fine, you know. But it said fife and drum corps or something like that. It's got a drum on it. I had to have a tri-corner hat. Had to have one.
Yeah.
Got one of those. Got one of those. Loved it. Loved that tri-corner hat. And I did. I just did. I loved it.
That's so nerdy. It's awesome.
It was a real felt one, and it had a trim on it, and it was great. I
had to have it.
Hat.
Had to have it. Yeah,
I loved it. But that's where we were.
You know what, Ron? I do remember being in at least that year, 76, being in Disney World. And I remember
oh wow, okay, cool.
The special parades that they had celebrating
absolutely
the birthday of America, and they had these creepy big-headed dolls and Uncle Sam that was like up on stilts and like with a big head.
Why he's always on stilts.
I mean, seriously, if you look it up on the internet, it was like, you know, those sort of like if those Russian dolls, you know, the things that, you know, you take what do they call them?
Yeah,
the nested dolls. Okay, as if the large one of those had come to life and was like 8 or 10 feet tall, and then, you know, had these huge heads, and this is weird.
That is creepy, John. That's a creepy memory of the bicentennial.
It is, but no, actually, I remember it being cool. And then at the end, you know, there was an eagle and Mickey and the big top hat and waving the flags. It was very patriotic, which was very cool.
Now I have to.
I hope they do that next year. Bring it back.
Yeah, bring it back. I have to work on the 4th of July, which is I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I'm going to be downtown in Frederick, and we have our radio station group has a cornhole tournament going on, and people are very serious about that game. They're very good. I'm just watching it going, wow, he got it in the hole again. Okay. it's amazing to see the caliber of play. These guys are serious for the cash and prizes. So doing that, so I'll be doing my show from Baker Park, and then I don't know, Greatest Wave Ever and I are thinking about maybe hanging out there and watching the Frederick 4th fireworks. But fireworks around here go off all around. Nobody wants to compete with Frederick. That's the main event on the 4th of July, or the national fireworks in DC.
Yeah,
and so they have them all the time around. So on the 3rd of July, which is my mom's birthday tomorrow, happy birthday, Mom. And still with us, still chugging along, our little firecracker. But the fireworks usually are on the 3rd. So you've got in all our surrounding areas there's a carnival that's having fireworks. The Frederick Keys, which is a minor league baseball team, they're having fireworks. And then on the 3rd, and then where is that in Disney?
That's the parade I was talking about. Look at the doll.
If you're hopefully you're watching that. If you're listening to this, I'm sorry about that.
It might not make sense, but look at that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Look at that. That's a pretty.
Giant. That was Betsy Ross. So
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, they kind of made her into a Disney caricature.
Yeah, well, that's what the whole parade was.
That was the whole thing.
But that was 76. Sorry, I had to share. So.
No, that's fine. I understand.
Have some context. So you're going to get together with the family. You're going to do the normal kind of fireworks thing in Frederick, and
we ran around. Oh, yeah, probably Friday. We're doing something Thursday too, because like I said, there are fireworks all over the place. then our local town, they went off on Saturday in the rain. Probably 15-20 minutes earlier than everybody's online going, what happened? Because there's some storms that blew through.
Right.
And like, is it happening? Is it happening? So the greatest wife ever and I, we went up and found this vantage point where you could see then they were right on the horizon. It was fantastic. And we weren't in the middle of traffic or any of that stuff. And it was great because greatest wife ever loves the fireworks. And so, yeah, we'll do something on Thursday. We're going to do something on Friday on the 4th. What about you? What are you doing for where do they set them off on the beach, I guess?
Well, I mean, they do. So,
by the way, if you're just joining us, John lives in Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. So,
yeah. So, the big fireworks thing goes on in either Harbor Town, which is where the big lighthouse is. That's kind of a tourist attraction thing, or kind of mid island in the creek, that sort of creek or waterway that splits the island almost in half.
Okay.
And so that was the one that we usually go to see.
Nice.
And you can view it from either Coligny or not Coligny. I don't know why. Shelter Cove is what it's called, not Coligny. Shelter Cove, or on the opposite side. So yeah, they do fireworks. It's kind of since 2020, since COVID came, like it's just not as impressive. There used to be like
really
fireworks everywhere you could see. And it seems like they've dialed it back in some places that used to do it, like Paris Island, which is a military base near here, used to do
Marines,
some of the craziest
Semper Fi
fireworks you've ever seen. And we would be able to see them from the beach. We would actually just go to the beach and then look across the sound at Paris Island, and it was amazing. But yeah, they've kind of dialed it back. But what I was going to say is the most important thing is family's going to be here. So my parents are going to be here.
Oh yeah, they're coming up from Florida. Nice.
Yeah, and then Andrew and Bonnie, who now live in Orlando,
his younger son and wife,
they're coming up, and then Michael is right down the road. So yeah, it's going to be nice.
Nice.
Yeah, the whole family is going to be here. So
excellent. That's great.
Looking forward.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be greatest wife ever and I and whatever friends we're going to be able to scare up because the daughters are doing their things with their families.
Understandably. So, yep.
No, that's but I
should be good.
What was I gonna say? Something about the 4th, and I can't remember. Oh well, the wind's screaming in the back of my mind. And that must not have been very important. All right. We need to duck out because we're making this is a quick little truncated version of the usual podcast. So let's get right to the question of the day, because it's time to get the great matter working, fire off the synapses, engage for low-informed new neural networks, utilize the cerebrum. As Pooh says, it's time to think. Dang, it's the dun-dun-dun. Question of the day for Pride Not Prize. Here we go. John, do you know the answer to this? I purposefully, so I send him a sheet of stuff we want to talk about. And I share a document with him. And then I put the question of the day. But I purposefully don't put the answer because I want John to play along.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I do know this one. Yeah.
You got this one?
Yeah.
July is National Hot Dog Month. This retailer has sold over 200 million hot dog soda combos, beating MLB park sales combined.
It's crazy.
And hot dogs.
It's crazy.
Beat them. All right.
Yeah.
Who is this retailer? Notice I said retailer, not restaurant. That's a super duper give it away clue.
And I know people who go there just for this.
I've never been there to have.
I've never. Neither have I. But
I gotta try it. I understand it's awesome. July is National Hot Dog Month. This retailer has sold over 200 million hot dog soda combos, beating MLB park sales combined. Who is it? All right, put your answer down in the comment section. And good Lord. The other day we've been trying to back off of the hot dogs because of the nitrates and all of the bad things that are in it and all the salts.
Sure.
So probably we'll treat ourselves maybe once a week.
We're having them on the 4th.
Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah, we make exceptions, with camping, we'll bring 5 pounds of hot dogs just for snacks. That's not a meal. Just so it's like 10 o'clock at night and you've had a couple of beers and you're like, I would want a hot dog.
I could go for a hot dog right now.
Put it over the fire. Yeah.
Relish or no relish, Ron? Relish or no relish?
Depends on the mood I'm in, but I'll do. You know what? I'm a no ketchup guy. I'm a no ketchup guy.
Yeah, you know what? I've become more of that as I've gotten older. I do like my mustard, like onions and relish. I'm like.
You know what I have found is, and we'll get to the answer.
Every time we're about to get out the door, John brings up another topic.
Well, you know what I have found is that when we order Chinese takeout, and I get the Chinese hot mustard, I save those packets.
Yes. Oh, Ron, such a good idea.
It's another level, John. It's another level, man. I'm telling you, man. It is wonderful. Right? Yes. Comes up through your nose. Like, it's so good. It's hot. All right, here we go. Question. July is National Hot Dog Month. This retailer has sold over 200 million hot dog / soda combos, beating Major League Baseball park sales combined. Who is it?
Ready?
Let's go to the.
All right, we got a few answers here
in our comment section. Okay, Mike, is Mike the first one through?
Mike was
the first one through
on
Mike,
the YouTube. By the
Mike,
way,
welcome into the podcast.
Yeah.
Costco is the correct answer. There it is.
Yes.
Costco.
Indeed.
I think he's correct. Yeah, it's like $1 or $1.50, something like that for the combo. That's why. That is why
you can get lunch for $1.50. $1.50.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a loss leader, I'm sure.
But
I was gonna say we got some bonus pride because it is Independence Day. We'll spread the pride around because Zach.
There's Zach. Zach's my champion, man. Zach comes through with the right answer.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna say 98% of that, and so does Jim as well.
Jimmy had it as well. So
three cheers for the red, white, and
3
blue.
for 3
for a duck, maybe somebody's mother. I don't. What is? Do you have a favorite patriotic song? And then we got to go, John. I know you got to go. Favorite patriotic song, like a march.
John Philip Sousa. Yeah.
Stars and Stripes Forever.
Yeah. Is there anything more American than listening to that while the fireworks are going off? I don't think so.
I had to when I was at Z104 in Frederick.
Yeah.
We were the radio sponsor of the fireworks in Middletown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so they asked if I would put together, they said it was going to be a half-hour firework display. So put together the music accompaniment, and then we would simulcast it, on the radio.
Yeah.
So you could tune in your radio and listen to this wonderful music and it was coming through the PA system. And so, of course, it was Stars and Stripes Forever and like every John Philip Sousa march. But what else did I put in there, John? There was ROCK in the USA, John Mellencamp, and Neil Diamond. They're coming to America.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Had to, man.
My country 'tis of thee,
sweet land of liberty.
Of thee I sing.
I remember I took my then girlfriend to go see Neil Diamond in concert because my parents wanted to go, and I got them tickets. And went to the Capitol Center. Neil Diamond in concert. Witness the spectacle. Right.
Rush. There will be no opening act.
Showtime 8 o'clock.
Showtime 8 o'clock.
Tickets available at Ticketmaster.
Brought to you by Electric Factory Concert.
Ticketron. No, we went to see Neil Diamond, and I just remember it. And it was the opening song was America. Opening song was America. Brilliant. And he gets to the "My country 'tis of thee," and this American flag unfurls in the back.
Oh,
and right. Okay. See your reaction. Everybody is just like, "Oh, yes, America, Bananas. USA." Yeah. And my then girlfriend just laughed. She thought it was so cheesy, and I felt so bad. Instead of enjoying it, because I was enjoying this with my parents, it just got rained all over.
Did she enjoy being your former girlfriend
at the time, and I'm just like, but that should have been a red flag.
That was a red flag right there.
It was a red flag. That's all right. Look, she's a wonderful person. She just wasn't into Neil Diamond. So I get it, but
no, I don't get it. Sorry,
don't laugh at me.
Sorry, you don't get a pass on Neil Diamond. You have to like Neil Diamond. Yeah,
he's a treasure. He's a national treasure.
And I'm proud to be an American.
Oh,
that's another one,
man.
Lee Greenwood.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's that one.
You didn't put "Born in the USA" in there, did you?
What's that?
You didn't put "Born in the USA" in there, did you? Springsteen?
No, because I know what the song's about.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Like everybody's like puts that in fireworks shows. I'm like, what are you doing? Really. Listen to the lyrics, please.
It's very anti-Vietnam. Very.
Yeah, it's brutal. So like there's don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, also the picture on the cover of Born in the USA that people don't realize.
You know what? We could go on about this for an hour, like seriously. So
he is eliminating
fluid
waste
on
the American flag.
Yes. Yeah, dummies. Like, look, I know
nobody really got that.
I never got it. I never understood it. In high school, I never got it.
Why would you? Right, exactly.
Everybody loved him. Oh, Bruce he's so patriotic. I'm like, could you actually read the lyrics and look at the album cover, please?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Neither here nor there. That's
no.
Right.
No, I'm gonna get some hate mail on that one, man. You can't attack the boss, man.
I'm sorry. He's just one of I'm
just speaking
the truth. I never
you
got
can
him.
Like him.
I understand why people do. I just never got him. I don't.
By the way,
him and I never got and another one. I never got Dylan.
No, I never got Dylan either.
And I never got Radiohead. And I never got. I'm sorry.
We're on the same page.
Sorry.
I will say,
mean they're not good. That doesn't mean they're not excellent at what they do. It must be.
And they can have good songs too. So like before we get out, Born to Run. I actually like Born to Run. I like that song. I musically, I like it. It's energetic. I actually like Frankie Goes to Hollywood version of that song better than Bruce's song. Check it out if you haven't. It's pretty good. But I like the song. So anyway, we gotta go.
Oh, you know what? Another good one is Nowadays Party in the USA, Miley. Come on, gotta give it up for Miley.
Miley
It's a great song. It's a banger, as she would say.
It is, and it gets you bopping and stuff like that. I'm not even a Miley Cyrus fan, but I'm like,
I know. I'm an old fart singing Miley songs, but I love my pop princesses. All right, John's got to go.
We got to go.
Have a wonderful and safe. So please don't set up the fireworks. I have my son-in-law is a firefighter, an EMT. Trust me, he's going to be very busy. Please be careful. Please be careful. You don't need me to tell you that. You know what to do.
Put it in reverse.
Have a wonderful, wonderful 4th of July and a happy holiday and a great holiday weekend. The pinnacle of summer. This is it, the pinnacle of summer. And then when we meet next week, it's back to school.
Yeah, crazy. Crazy.
Well, trust me, fall is going to be in all the stores if it isn't there already. I understand Christmas has already exploded at Hobby Lobby. But look, have a great time. Have a great holiday. And we love you so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with us in just this brief little period. We really appreciate it. God bless America. God bless our troops. And people thank you so much. Please take care of yourselves and each other. Please be safe. John, Ron, love you, mean it.
America.
Bicycle.
Bye-bye.